All right, folks, it's the guy with the bow tie checking with you live for another edition of Business of Benefits, a special edition. In culmination of Women's History Month, we have the wonderful Santia Deck to my right. Over here, if you do not know who she is, I really think your Wi-Fi is broken if you don't know who Santia Deck is. I believe I started seeing your journey starting back in 2013 or 14 on LinkedIn. I don't have an Instagram account. All I have is LinkedIn. And I would see, who's this girl doing football drills on LinkedIn and doing carry drills and running track and all these things on LinkedIn. So I just would follow and kind of be a fanboy from a distance. But doing a lot of great things right now. So kind of for the people who don't know who you are, kind of give them a little snapshot of who you are so they can understand.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Santia Deck. I just made history becoming the highest paid female football player in history for the new league, the WFLA. So I kind of been, doing all this football stuff on top of, I'm also a business owner as well. So, I do kind of like a variety of things. I do fitness stuff. I'm a public speaker, a fitness model. I do TV stuff. So I do a lot. But, definitely this year has been all about football for me and just kind of making my mark in, I guess what you want to call a man's sport. So it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I mean, this is definitely a great time to celebrate Women's History Month with you being the highest paid football player. That was in January, wasn't it, when you got the deal?
It was actually in December.
December, okay.
Yes.
Hit the news in January. I think they held it out for a while in the news.
They did. They did.
Perfect. And then we had Miss Lindsay Renee said, "Hey, Santia, you're awesome." So you already got a fan shouting you out already.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So Queen of Abs, I remember the most striking thing I saw when I looked at your profile was the Stone Cold Steve Austin's Skull Crusher series you had. So was that like a big leap for you to go from fitness training into that? Like, what made that happen?
So honestly, like all these opportunities that I have gotten have come from like Instagram for the most part. So like they actually saw me playing flag football, and playing. Well, no, I was just doing flag football at that time. So just playing football. And then they saw me with, of course, working out, and I was flipping tires and doing all these crazy things. And I guess a producer actually messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, like, would you be interested in coming on the show?" And I was like, yeah. And so when I went out there, it was definitely surreal, and just meeting, like, I was a big fan of Steve Austin. So seeing him in real life, and like he's really as big as he looks. So I was like, okay, this is like a humongous person. But he was really nice. He was really supportive as far as like me playing football and stuff. And the challenges were a lot harder than I thought they were going to be. It was extremely hot too. We're like in the middle of nowhere in California. So it was crazy. But I mean, social media is really what got me that opportunity. So I'm very thankful for that.
Okay. And then you're doing the fitness business as well. So you started that in college, I think, your personal training business?
I did. I got certified when I was a junior in college. And I was just training a few people, like a few of my friends and things like that. And then, of course, when I graduated, that's when I turned it into like a business.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I mean, a lot of women are going to be watching this, and they're in a situation right now where they're kind of rebuilding because obviously coronavirus is here. Now, before I forget, hashtag Team Replay, hashtag Team Live. Let us know where you are. The virus is going to put things to a halt for a lot of people. So a lot of women might be kind of thinking about, what do I do right now? So when you decided to make it into a business, what was that motivation or that thing that made you decide to do that?
What really kind of pushed me to do that was because, I mean, I've been an athlete my entire life. So I knew exactly what to do to get myself in shape. And I would always kind of, like just for fun, like I would train some of like my family members, and some of my close friends. And I remember I was getting them like really, really good results. And so when I realized that, okay, I could really do this, I decided to just take that leap and just say, you know what, let me get certified, let me do it the right way. And once I started getting like a lot of people interested, and I started having people like actually have results in college, I was like, okay, that means I can actually turn this into like a pretty lucrative business, and it's mine. So that means I work for myself. And I've always been like that. I never really wanted to work for anybody. I tried a few times, and that just wasn't for me, to say the least. So I decided to kind of push myself and come out my comfort zone, because I used to be a very, very, very shy person. I'm still pretty shy. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm not, but I used to be like just very, very much to myself. So that was kind of hard, having to talk to people and things like that. But once I did it, it changed my life. So I decided to just go ahead and once I graduated, I got my business. I got an LLC, got all the legal stuff done right.
Right.
And yeah, that was kind of the creation of Queen of Abs.
Perfect. And we had David Richards. He said he's proud of you. He's out here in Atlanta, so he's proud of you.
Oh, tell him I said thank you. I appreciate that.
So we're talking about the Women's Football League Association. You'll be playing for the Los Angeles Flames. So one question people probably want to know: are you going to still be based out of Atlanta, or you go back and forth? What's that going to be like?
You know what? I still haven't quite decided that yet. Of course, I'm going to be in LA during my season. So I'm pretty sure I'm still going to have a place here in Atlanta. I mean, just kind of like the NFL players, they're wherever they're at, during the season, come home to wherever they normally live. So we'll see.
And that's a big stereotype to fight. I mean, how long has that league been being in creation? I know we've had the lingerie league, we've had the women's football league. Like, how long has this league taken to kind of come to fruition?
So this league is super new. Like we haven't even had our exhibition season. So this is going to be the first season, for this league. As far as like how long the owner has been creating it, I'm not really sure. I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
But from what I'm hearing, it seems like it's been in works for a while.
Okay.
But she just now launched it. And obviously it's kind of shaking up the world a little bit. So everybody's kind of on their toes and waiting kind of to see what happens. So we're just super excited, to kind of finally have women be able to put their talents out there on a really, really big platform, and kind of show the world that girls can play football too.
Yeah, that's got to be a hard stereotype to deal with. I mean, you called yourself the female Barry Sanders, and you gone through, being almost diagnosed with scoliosis as a young child. So talk about that, fighting the stereotype. Because if I could think of a stronger stereotype to fight, it's probably girls playing football. So how has that been for you?
It's been a very interesting journey, to say the least. I have a lot more support than I thought. From men and women. But of course you have people that, still feel like women shouldn't play football, as far as tackle. So I do deal with that sometimes, where people just are like, well, why are you doing this? Why don't you just stick to flag football? But at the same time, like I have a lot of friends in the NFL and things like that. And they're actually super supportive. They're actually really excited about it. Because this is a respectable league. We're fully padded, fully suited up like the men. So you really have to focus on our talents and not just our bodies, to say the least. So that is what I think really got me excited about it, because I did have a super short stint in the LFL, and that was definitely not my thing. No offense to anybody that plays that in that league, but it just wasn't for me. So knowing that I can actually get out here and people focus on me as an athlete, that is what the world needs. And the fact that we actually get paid enough to be financially free like the men, so that we can focus on our talents and building ourselves up in training, I think they're going to see a whole new level of talent that they've never seen. So I'm excited.
I love that. I mean, the lingerie football league and just men in general are focused on bodies. And I know you get to deal with this on Instagram. You have 490,000 followers, I think, on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I know you get to deal with a ton of guys just, commenting on things that aren't really what you're there for. But
right.
Being in a, aggressive sport like that, talk about that, dealing with that. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's going to still probably happen, but you still show your talent. So for the women that are dealing with stereotypes, what was it that kind of made you say, I can push through this, I can deal with this because I got a message?
Man, I've always kind of gone against the grain my entire life. I grew up with three brothers, one being my twin. So I was always doing things that I wasn't supposed to do as a girl, because I was very much a tomboy. I was out there playing backyard football, street basketball, running routes, tackling, doing everything that the boys did, and sometimes better. I was always like, I was very, very muscular from the time I was literally like born. We were actually abnormally muscular. So I went through being teased and stuff about that. Little did I know that was going to be, why I became who I became, or who I am. And so stereotypes that's never been like a, I guess, a fear of mine, because I knew all my life that I didn't fit that. I mean, I was
Right.
not the average girl. I didn't look like the average girl. I wasn't dainty and, you know, fragile. I was very tough. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, for me, this is like this is like a dream, because, you know, I always tell people it's sad that when you are a little girl, you know, we have these dreams of going to like the WNBA or wanting to
Mm-hmm.
play professional volleyball or run track. And most of the time, you know, obviously we barely get paid enough to even support ourselves and our families. But these little
Yeah.
boys, from the time they're 5 and 6, know that, okay, I can go to the NFL, I can go to the NBA, and I'm going to get paid
Mm-hmm.
millions to be able to, you know, take care of my family and more. And so
Yep.
the fact that now little girls can say, oh, I want to go to the WFLA, and they actually can, and they can be
Yep.
compensated very well for it. I'm just like, that's what matters to me, is just really the next generation. So this is all about breaking stereotypes. You know, these women, that the women that are playing in this league, they're just a different type of women, to say the least. And again, I'm just excited that their talents are finally going to be seen, because I mean, we have some really talented women. So I'm just really excited.
Okay. Do you think a lot of them tried other leagues before this? Like they were in the lingerie league and different leagues before this?
Oh yeah, most of them actually played in like the WFA, and of course the LFL, and some of the other tackle leagues and stuff. So, you know, they're excited as well, because a lot of them, they've been playing for 10, 11 years as well. So this is like, it's about time for them. You know, that's kind of how they
Yeah.
feel about it. So yeah, I mean, everybody's just looking forward to it.
Okay. So now, how long do you think you've been thinking about football? Was you 5 when you started, or how old were you when you said, okay, football is what I want to do?
You know what? I actually never. I played flag football when I was younger, but my dream was track. I mean, I ran
Okay.
track from 6 to 23, and I'm 28 now. So
Mm-hmm.
my thing was to go to the Olympics for track. Football
Okay.
really didn't become my love until I guess about 6 years ago, when I started
Okay.
playing flag football, and I just immediately fell in love with it. But I haven't had this dream all my life, so it's
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting, like how quickly this became like my world, within
Yeah.
like, you know, 5 6 years. So yeah.
Okay. And then, so probably before that, you were different all the time and being a tomboy and everything. When do
hmm
you think your family kind of decided, okay, this is who she is. We're not going to try to put her into another box.
You know, my family never tried. They knew
Really?
from day one that I was different. That I was an athlete. I mean, we were
Mm-hmm.
2 years old, like climbing out of our cribs, like when we weren't, well, not even two, we were like way younger. Before we could walk, we were climbing out of our cribs, crawling into each other, me and my twin, into each other's like cribs. And my mom's like, how did you get in this crib? Like, I don't, you know, she couldn't understand that. So we were like super, super strong. And so she knew, like, okay, my kids are going to do something in sports. She didn't know what it
Yeah.
was, but she knew for sure track. We tried
Mm.
tennis. We were too strong for tennis. Our instructor said, "Hey, put them in something else because they keep hitting the ball over the fence." We were like 3 years
Uh,
old, and so you know, she knew it was going to be something. And my family is very nurturing. You know, my
mm-hmm.
mom, she spoke life into me from the time I was born. She does it now. I'm 28 years old. You know, she tells me, she used to tell me all the time I could do whatever I want to do. I could fly. I could, you know, be the fastest person on earth. I could be the, you know, I could, if I want to be a doctor, you know, she was like almost like DJ Khaled, how he is with his kids. She was kind
Yeah.
of like that with us. So, you know, I was very confident as far as like who I was. Um, I,
Mm-hmm.
Now there was other issues that I had. I was very self-conscious about how I looked because I was very muscular. And I
Yeah.
did get teased. You know, people used to always say, was I on steroids and things like that. But I realized that that was my gifts. That's when I really, really embraced it. So, yeah.
So how long was that going on? I mean, because a lot of people go through that and they just cower under and they break down and no one change. So how long do you think it took for you to say this is me? When you're getting picked on for that and being told you should be a girl, don't run track and all that. How old do you think you were when it kind of clicked and you said, "Okay, get it, this is me"?
Honestly, it took me till my freshman year in college for me to embrace my
Okay.
body. Because I would never
Okay.
wear dresses, I would never wear shorts, I would never wear shirts that, you know, were sleeveless because of my shoulders. But I remember my
Mm-hmm.
friend, when she was like, "Why do you always wear like a sweater to the beach?" And I used to be like, I mean, I don't know, like I feel like I look like a man. And she was like, well, are you serious? Like people would die for your body. And she was like, you know what? Let's do like a test. Let's go to the beach for spring break and you wear a 2-piece. And if anybody says anything negative, I will never ask you again to like, take off your sweater. And so we did that. And I got like a lot of compliments and everything. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? This is who I can't change my body. I can't cut, I can't shrink my arms, whatever. That's just how I look. And so ever since then, I just embraced it. And I mean, I'm confident in who I am now. So yeah.
That friend is probably mad after that trip. Like, you got more numbers and compliments than I got. I'm not doing that with you ever again.
I actually thank her because she definitely changed my life with that. So I definitely appreciated it.
Well, that's good for women to hear that, because I mean, that was a woman supporting you. I mean, another woman, a peer of yours, supporting you. So in today's day and age, I think 2020 is becoming the year of the woman, and it's long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how important do you think it is for women to support women based on what's going on?
Oh man, we definitely need each other more than ever, because I feel like we are making a really, really big statement that hasn't really happened ever. I think women are doing things that we were told that we could never do. And I think even, 50, 60 years ago, people never would have thought that we would be doing the things that we're doing. Women in, coaching positions and like the NFL, Tony Harris got a full scholarship to go to college to play, and she's a woman and she's not a kicker. She's playing a skills position. So it's like, it's a soccer, finally getting what they deserve, things like that. So it's like women are finally demanding what they want and getting it. And I think it's about time. And that does not mean that we have to be these masculine creatures in order to get what we want. But I do feel like we have to demand it, because I feel like people are finally listening. And so it's like, if you want to do anything right now as a woman, this is the time to do it, because the doors are flying open for us. And, whenever I do have children, or when I have a daughter, I'm going to tell her the same thing. Like, if you want something, go get it. Nobody can stop you. It doesn't matter how big it is, how crazy it seems, how crazy people think you are. Because people thought I was crazy since I was a child, because I was like, I was not doing things that kids did. I was missing like, my summers, because I ran summer track. I would stay after school and lift extra weights and run extra laps. And people never understood why. Like, what are you chasing? And I was like in middle school, but I told people like, I'm going to make it. I have to. And like, now that I'm here, it's just like, it's surreal, because people really don't know how long I grinded for me to get here. They just see the articles, they see the blogs, but they don't understand that I literally shed so much blood, sweat, and tears that it was almost impossible for me not to get here, because I wanted it that bad, and I sacrificed so much. And I tell people, especially children, like, if you want something, you really, really have to, like, you have to focus on that. You have to make that your life. You have to sacrifice, and you have to do things that you might not want to do. You have to get up when you might not want to get up, but if you want it, go get it. Simple as that. And that's what I did. It took me some years. It took me a long time, but I'm here, So, yeah.
That's awesome. I think right now, with everything going on, a lot of people are kind of depressed and downtrodden because the virus is shutting everything down. Places are closed. Football's ending. Live internet. No, it's okay. But everything's kind of at a standstill right now. So you probably had moments in your career when it was like something fell through, something didn't work, opportunity went away. What do you think helped you through that? Because I know you mentioned your mom and everything, but was it just that or something else to help you get through those tough times?
Well, I'm a very, very spiritual person. I'm a believer in Christ. So definitely my spirituality above everything is really what has got me to this point, and obviously has shaped me into who I am. Because I put all my faith in my Savior. So having that spiritual grounding from a very young age, I think, is what really set me apart as well, because I always felt like I had someone looking over my shoulder that wasn't my mom. And so I didn't fall into like peer pressure. I wasn't doing things that other kids did strictly because I believe I believe in my salvation. And so like I always feel like everything that I do is bigger than me. It's not about me. It's about what I'm doing to leave my mark on this earth. I want to use all the talents that God has given me. And I don't want to be, 80 years old or 70 years old or whatever in my rocking chair talking to my grandkids and like, man, I wish I would have did that. Like, I want to do everything that I can do so that when I do have a family, have a husband, have children, like, I'm satisfied. Yeah. So I'm not, I'm not feeling like, oh, I should have waited to have you, or oh man, I should have waited to get married, because I'm fulfilled. Yeah. And so like that's kind of like how I live my life, is like whatever I want, I go after it. Like, I don't know, after football I may play golf. I mean, who knows? Like if that's what if I feel like I have, a desire to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I do it. That's really, that's all it is. Like if I want something, I really, really for real, I go get it. Like there's not any gray area. Like if I want it, I'm gonna put in the work, get the knowledge of it and attack it. And that's just what I've been doing all my life.
Do you find that that's a hard skill to teach these women you're talking to? I know you mentor and coach and stuff like that. So is that a hard skill to teach a woman that doesn't have?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, when they feel like something isn't working, early, or it's not happening fast enough, they immediately get defeated. And it is very hard to teach people perseverance. Because definitely women, we're always taught that, well, this this isn't like really for women anyway, so it's okay. Or, you're a girl anyway, so like, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So it's like, we're not, like men, it's like, oh, you're a man. You have to, like, if you don't do this, you're not a man. This is like a manly trait. You have to, what I'm saying? So we're taught to like, oh, okay, it's okay. You're a girl, you're feminine, so don't worry about it. But for me, it's like, I'm trying to teach these, and definitely these younger girls, like, you have to have like a fire lit in you almost all the time. And we go through many more obstacles than men, because we're women. We're always fighting for something. We're always trying to prove ourselves. We're always trying to prove that we're strong enough or smart enough or whatever, capable enough to do whatever. And so for me, like, trying to teach a woman to kind of get out of that, like, oh, like, don't worry about it, you're soft and dainty, just don't worry about your girl or whatever. Like, trying to get her out of that, a woman out of that, is sometimes very hard, especially if you weren't like raised like that. If you were raised to be like this dainty, wonderful, beautiful flower who doesn't ever get, who doesn't ever wilt or anything like that, then it's difficult. But I feel like we're on to something different now. 2020 again has opened up a lot of doors for us, and I think now that women are seeing women being very successful, and seeing women like achieving these amazing positions in businesses and the sports world and things like that, I think that attitude is kind of changing a little bit, because I feel like women are becoming more fierce now. We're stepping out of these little boxes that we were told to stay in. We're coming out of our, pretty little dresses and getting into like our business suits now, and our cleats and whatever we're doing, and we're going out there making stuff happen. So I think things are definitely changing now, and I'm just excited to see like what's next for us, to be honest. Like, who knows? Maybe one day I'm president. Who knows?
Hey, why not? We definitely need we need some changes, so that's totally fine with me.
Oh yes.
So how many teams are in the new league?
It's 32. So every team that there's NFL team, there's gonna be a WFLA team.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I wish it was going to be an Atlanta team for you, because we need Atlanta to have somebody win besides United. So it's actually is going to be an Atlanta team, actually. So, but no, I mean, you being on the Atlanta team.
Atlanta. Oh yeah.
You got to win some stuff.
You never know. Like, I'm not going to say that they're going to beat us, but I feel like they're going to do well.
Perfect. So the name, the fames, did you guys get the help with that, or the owner just made their own names up for the teams?
Oh no, the owners just made up their own names, unfortunately. But I actually liked all the names that I've heard. So they did a pretty good job.
Awesome. So now we're on pause. Obviously, all sports has been shut down for the next month or two. So do you have a start date for the league for next year?
So our actually season opener is May 1st, 2021. Okay. And we're actually playing the first game, so I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Put that for people to know so they can go check it out. And where will it be broadcasted? Will it be ESPN, local? Like, what's the broadcast schedule looking like?
They haven't told us that yet. I know that we're supposed to be like having some updates coming soon. I know things have been crazy with this corona stuff, but we should be getting that information in the next like few weeks. So once I get all that, I'll definitely let you know so that you can tell everybody. But I'm not sure yet.
Okay, that's fine. I figured everything's kind of in a stalemate now with everything.
Yeah.
So back to the pushing through these hard, difficult things. You mentioned in the YouTube video a while ago that you were almost diagnosed with scoliosis. And how old were you when that happened?
So actually, I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
And pretty much what had happened was my doctor had missed it when I was much younger. So by the time they found it when I was 12, they pretty much said like I had to go and get surgery. But of course, with surgery, that meant I would have pretty much been done with track, which was my life at that time. And he actually told my mom to never put me in sports because if I would have got hit the wrong way, fell the wrong way, then I could have been paralyzed.
Yeah.
And so, he was just telling my mom, this is my child. I would rush her into surgery immediately, just making like a humongous deal out of it. I was in there crying and everything. And my mom was like upset. And so it was like a really horrible moment. But, the doctor said, well, you have a decision to make, either you take her out of sports or you just allow her body to possibly adjust to it. And so my mom, she prayed on it and she ended up allowing me to continue to play sports. And God did his thing, and luckily my body adjusted to it. The only issues I have now are just really like muscle spasms or just tightness and things like that. But luckily my body adjusted to everything, and I've been playing sports ever since. So the doctor doesn't always have the last say.
No, I love that. I love that. The body heals itself quite often. The body can heal through most things. So do you think your training and everything is what kind of helped that more so?
For sure. It's never going to go away. I'm still always going to have that curve, but I think obviously strengthening the muscles are really what kept it from changing and getting worse. And that's why I tell people, like, of course, talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but definitely strengthening your back muscles and things like that. That will definitely help with at least kind of helping it not to get any worse. But that's kind of the advice I tell other trainers and things like that, and people that work with athletes that have scoliosis. And so they said because of my core, my stomach, being pretty strong, and then me having a pretty strong back and everything, that's really what helped. And so I guess I got pretty lucky, to say the least.
Okay. So when Queen of Ab started, did that start from kind of high school and everything when you was training to kind of get through track and everything? Did the ab thing start then, or was it later in college?
Nah, honestly, I didn't even really. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't know that I had abs, but I just was always very muscular since I was a kid, so I just thought that was normal. But what really kind of took that to the next level is when like I started posting videos on social media, and people started saying that like, oh my gosh, your abs are sculpted and blah blah blah. And then I was like, you know what? Or my mom, actually, she's the one that was like, hey, like I see that you have like, I think I had 25,000 followers on Instagram at that time in college. And she was like, I'm seeing that you're getting a lot of, attention and things like that. And people are, they like how your core is. And she was like, we should kind of turn this into a business. And so I was like, okay. And then she was like, what would you want to be called? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like Princess of Abs. And she was like, why be a princess when you can be a queen? And so that's how Queen of Abs, came to be. And my mom is my manager too, so she's definitely been the brains behind all this stuff that's happening as far as my brand. So I'm very thankful and grateful for my mom.
Great mom move. That's a definite great mom move.
Yeah.
Well, so let's segue a bit to that real quick. So Instagram's your platform of choice, I'm guessing, right? Like most of your work. Okay. So as a woman that's obviously using athleticism and also marketing at the same time, how do you navigate the muddy waters of guys being inappropriate with what you're doing? Because I know you're not out there just trying to be a model. You're out there trying to push your brand. So how do you navigate that as a woman?
Man, I've had to grow some very thick skin, to say the least. Learn how to really ignore ignorant people, to say the least. And really just demand respect, to say the least, because even going into meetings, and I dress I wear pantsuits and everything like that. So I'm very like, you know, I'm a businesswoman. So I think when people first see me, they're like, oh, this is this pretty girl, and you know, she probably doesn't really know much, so I can probably say whatever I want to say and things like that. But when they hear me speak, they're like, oh, okay, she actually knows what she's talking about. So I think my work kind of speaks for itself. How I carry myself kind of speaks for itself. And then I have my mom, who is a shark. So, you know, she's also always somewhere behind me as well, making sure everybody's, you know, everything's going good. So I think having my mom behind me as well, which I think that's why I also tell people, make sure your management is good too. And they're really looking out for you, because my mom I'm sure is the reason why I don't get as many crazy people coming at me, you know, more so than other people, because my mom doesn't tolerate that. And then she's taught me, she's given me so much knowledge. She's taught me how to carry myself. She's taught me how to speak. So I think just having a great mentor and having her in my corner is definitely a reason why. But yeah, also just social media. Like I learned that it doesn't matter how you look, what you do, what you wear. People are always going to have crazy things to say. Unfortunately, we live in a hypersexual world where everything is considered sexual. So I'm just, you know, I just continue to put out positive and inspirational content. And I just have to, you know, ignore and block people a lot. Unfortunately, so that's just how it is being a woman on social media. Yeah, my block game is very strong. So yeah.
So have you noticed then, with that being said, I mean, you're talking to young girls all the time. Have you noticed kind of the skin thickening over the last few years where kind of women are more able to deal with this? Because I could think back early days of LinkedIn. You probably got picked on a lot more. Like I know a past interview I did, the sexy chef Wendy, sexy chef Wendy Lane. She used to get beat up a lot on LinkedIn because she was posting cooking and lingerie, and so like that's just my brand.
Right
now, people kind of accept it, but have you noticed over the years that it's been being beat up less on social media?
Yeah, I guess for me, because I don't really post anything that's like, I guess that people really, I mean, I guess like if you wear a dress or something or pants and I'm not in workout clothes, then people are gonna say more crazy things. But yeah, I feel like now, because of I guess how our community is changing. I don't know, like, you know, the music, everything, TV. I think people kind of expect that now. They kind of expect men to just be men, I guess. And so like you just kind of like, whatever, like I'm just gonna block you at this point. I don't think people cry about it as much anymore. As much as they used to, like where they, you know, I used to have to get on Instagram and just have like these, and sometimes I still do, I'm not gonna lie, like I have to have these rants about, okay, can you guys just be respectful? Can you just be normal, ask normal questions? Like, I don't need you asking me like personal questions, and I have kids on my live and parents and things like that. So I do have to still do that sometimes, but not as much as I used to. And I guess now, like, I realize no matter how much I get on here and cry about it, they're still gonna do it. My following is constantly growing. I'm getting new followers every day. So it's always gonna be some weird people being weird people. So like you just kind of have to just tolerate it and just deal with it, to be honest.
I just hate that that's the thing, because it's like, it's almost like the socially accepted norm. Like you just gotta accept that guys are gonna do that, because men don't get the same response. I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah.
It's super rare to have somebody do that to a guy, so it just kind of sucks that you're gonna got to get used to it. But is that something when you're mentoring young girls, you're gonna talk to them about, like, hey, if you put yourself out there, be prepared for this? Do you kind of mentor them on that in some regard?
Yeah, and I try to tell, you know, these girls, because unfortunately, like, who they look up to is not always the best idol as well. And I try to tell people, like, when you put whatever content you put on social media, it's out there forever. Somebody's gonna screenshot it. It's you know, now somewhere lost on in the internet. You know, you don't want, you know, 5 years from now you're trying to get a job or you're trying to do something, and then somebody goes and Googles your name and they see all this crazy content that you posted when you were like 18, 19. And so like I tell people, if you want to be respected, you know, put out respectable content. You know, if you're gonna wear see-through shirts and things like that, then you're gonna get that type of response from your audience. You're gonna get people saying, well, when are you gonna post another nude picture or whatever you're doing? And so it's like, if you want people to respect you, and even though unfortunately, even when you do that, you still get crazy people, but I feel like it's less. because I definitely feel like I don't get as much as like some of these girls that I see on social media. But you know, unfortunately, it's very hard for me to accept that I have to deal with this as a woman. But I realize like I can't go and fight everybody that puts a comment on my you know, I cuss out everybody or send a negative, you know, a nasty message or whatever. Like I can't do that. So otherwise I'll just be crazy. So like all I can do is just ignore it, block them, delete the comments, and just keep it moving, and just continue trying to just do me. But definitely be careful what you put out there, because that's the image that people are gonna portray you as. So yeah.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, because I feel like LinkedIn doesn't do it as much, but other platforms definitely it happens. So sorry on behalf of all men, sorry that that's happening, but glad you're able to.
Well, thank you.
No problem. So it's Women's History Month. So you have made history technically last year, but we'll say this year.
Right.
What's the next piece of history you're trying to make for yourself, or for women in general, women in general?
Well, I definitely want to, my goal for football period is to go down as the best female football player ever. Obviously my idol is Barry Sanders. So I definitely want to, you know, I guess, hold on, I'm sorry, 1 second.
That's okay.
Oops, sorry. I feel like my computer is about to fall. Sorry about that. But no, I definitely want to embody him in every way. So hopefully I go out there and I you know, break some records as far as yardage, and you know, do something that hasn't been seen. I just really want to go out here and for real, like, show people that women can really play the game just like the men. We're not trying to play with y'all, but I feel like we can, you know, we can hit as hard, you know, we can juke just like you guys, we can catch, throw, things like that. I just really want to show people that, yeah, we're here, and we're gonna make some noise. And yeah, so my goal is to be the best that has ever done it.
Well, you do a great job showing juking and catching and everything on your video, so I have no doubt you're gonna set some records, definitely.
Thank you.
No problem. So kind of want to be respectful of your time. I know you got things to do. So what's the parting message? I know you say you want women to embrace the skin they're in, regardless of stereotypes on your website, and you're all about that all the time. So what's the message you want to leave the women that are kind of dealing with, they're at home now, they're kind of depressed, downtrodden because of the virus and everything? What's the message you want to leave with them to kind of help them push through the rest of the year?
What I can say to you know, women that's kind of falling into like a, you know, depression and just being stuck in the house and just trying to figure out what's their next move, like, definitely take this time, even though this is a very uncomfortable time that we're in right now, but take this time to really figure out who you are, what you want to do, what you're really passionate about, and what you would do if you weren't working your regular job. Like, what do you really want to do for yourself? What legacy do you want to leave? And start writing that out, start making plans, you know, start putting things together, start brainstorming and things like that, and work on that while you have the time. Because, you know, a lot of us, you know, that do work, you know, 9 to 5s and stuff, we don't have time to come home and also try to figure out how to start a business. So since you do have this time, this might could become your full-time job if that's what you want. So I would definitely say that, you know, definitely take care of yourself, you know, still do your meditation, still work out, still eat healthy, still spend time with your family and kids, and just really enjoy this time where you have time. Because a lot of us, we were so busy, and sometimes we didn't have time to even stop and smell the flowers. We like, you know, some people are just getting outside and be like, oh my gosh, like the world is really beautiful. Because it's like you're so focused on your work. So I think this is also a time where God is like, hey, I need you guys to know who's really in control. And I need you guys to kind of step back and really understand what's important, which is your family, which is the people that really care about you. The people that you're quarantined with is probably the people that care about you the most. That's all I'm saying. So like, while you have time to enjoy your children and enjoy your husbands and wives, like, you know, really embrace that, because once things get back to normal, we're going to be back on that whirlwind of just going from place to place, trying to, you know, work and, you know, whatever you're doing. So like, while you have this time to really enjoy life, enjoy it as much as you can. I know there's not a lot we can do, but enjoy your family, enjoy those personal relationships, and build your business. You know, find your passion, find what makes you happy, find a new hobby that you can do or something. Like, you know, just enjoy this while you can breathe and get some sleep. I know that's another issue. We don't get enough sleep, so get some sleep.
About that. So, I've noticed in my neighborhood, or even all around, I'm seeing a lot more people walking outside because
oh my gosh, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, my wife and kids, we like to go hike, so we're kind of worried, like, please don't close the parks down because we go hiking.
Yeah, I know.
But now we're like, everybody's walking. These people, our neighborhood has like 10 times the number of people walking than it normally walk. So
oh my gosh,
interesting.
that's how it is down here. Like I actually drove to Buckhead, and I'm seeing like people are like actually having like workout groups in the middle of like parks and in the middle of the street, and I'm just like, what happened to all these people when things were normal? Like now people really care about their health, which is good. I'm happy that people are at least getting outside. Like I feel like I'm back in the 90s now, like where people actually like being outside. So I'm just excited. I mean, I'm happy that people are finding something to do that's actually positive and not doing anything crazy. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with that as well. The environment is responding better, and people are getting outside.
Yeah, like the animals are happy. Like they're coming out of their shells, and I haven't seen this many bees in a while. It's like the air smells cleaner. It's crazy. Like the earth is responding, so that's a sign. Maybe we should have like nature time where we don't go outside for a while. So I mean, I heard the ozone layer is actually like getting better or something now. I don't know if that's true, but they say like it's actually like apparently getting a little bit better. So I mean, hey, maybe this is a sign.
Maybe we have a quarantine week every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, like let nature do its thing, So yeah.
Perfect. Well, Santia, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you jumping on here. Those of you on Team Replay, thanks for jumping on here. Team Live, thank you again. We will catch you next time, and pay attention to Santia. Let them know where to follow you and all the different platforms for you.
Oh yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at trackbaby001. Twitter is Santia_deck, and Facebook is Queen of Abs.
Perfect. So you guys heard it here, and you'll probably see her on several news outlets in the future just to kind of get the Women's Football League Association going and everything else with her business. So thank you so much. We'll catch you guys next time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.